Antonio Salieri, 10 years of my hate have poisoned you to death. Die, Amadeus, die, I beg you. Leave me alone, ti imploro. Leave me alone at last. Leave me alone. The death certificate said kidney failure, hastened by exposure to cold. Generous Lord Figu paid for a pauper's funeral, 20 other corpses in an unmarked lime pit. And what did I feel? Relief, of course. I confess it. And pity too, pity for the men I helped to destroy. I felt the pity God can never feel. I weakened God's flute to thinness, and God blew as he must without cease, and the flute split in the mouth of his insatiable need. One amazing fact emerged. Mozart did not imagine the masked figure who said, "Take up your pen and write a requiem." It was real. A certain bizarre nobleman called Count Wozzeck always had a longing to be taught a composer. After Mozart's death, it was actually performed as Count Wozzeck's requiem. And I conducted it. Well, naturally I did. In those days I presided over all great musical occasions. I remained in Vienna, the city of musicians, reverenced by all, and slowly I understood the nature of God's punishment. What had I begged for in that church as a little boy? Was it not fame? Fame for excellence? Well, now I had fame. I was to become quite simply the most famous musician in Europe. I was to be bricked up in fame, embalmed in fame, buried in fame. But for work I knew to be absolutely worthless. This was my sentence. I must endure 30 years of being called distinguished by people incapable of distinguishing. And finally, his masterstroke, when my nose had been rubbed and fame to vomiting, it would all be taken away from me, every scrap. I must survive to see myself become extinct. Mozart's music sounded louder and louder through the world, and mine faded completely till no one played it at all. Time has come. I must release you and myself. One moment's violence and it's done. You see, I did not live on this earth to be his joke for eternity. I will be remembered. I will be remembered. If not in fame, then infamy. One moment more, and I win my battle with him. Watch and see. All this month I've been shouting about murderer. Have mercy, Mozart. Pardon your assassin. And now, my last move. A false confession, short and convincing. How I really did murder Mozart? With arsenic. Out of envy, and how I cannot live another day under the knowledge. By tonight they will hear out there how I died, and they'll believe it is true. Oh, let them forget me then for the rest of time. Whenever men say Mozart with love, they will say Salieri with loathing. I am going to be immortal after all, and he is powerless to prevent it. So, Signore, see now if man is mocked. I was born a pair of ears and nothing else. It is only through hearing music that I know God exists. Only through writing music that I could worship. All around me men seek liberty for mankind. I sought only slavery for myself, to be owned, ordered, exhausted by an absolute music. This was denied me, and with it all meaning. And now, I go to become a ghost myself. I will stand in the shadows when you come to this earth in your turns, and when you feel the dreadful bite of your failures and hear the taunting of unachievable, uncaring God, I will whisper my name to you. Antonio Salieri, patron saint of mediocrities. And in the depth of your downcastness, you can pray to me, and I will forgive you. Vis saluta.